Trainers, I've said it once and I'll say it again. We are entering truly a golden age of the monster taming genre. Aniimo is on the horizon and it is going to be an amazing experience, I have no doubt. But the question that looms in everyone's minds, especially in this community, is will it be the thing that dethrones Kardmi as the top mobile monster tamer game in the market? Let's find out. So allow me to set the stage. Aniimo is an upcoming free-to-play, next-gen, open-world, creature-catching action RPG. It's developed by Paw Print Studios and published by FunPlus' massive new King's Glory label, and it is slated for release in Q3 of 2026 across pretty much all platforms except for, of course, Switch. It's going to be on iOS and Android, and that's going to be big because Kardmi currently is only really available on PC and Android. I think it's available on iOS and maybe some regions, but it may not be available on iOS at all. So the big thing that makes Aniimo, is it Aniimo or Aniimo? I'm not sure. However you pronounce it. However, the big thing that is interesting about this title is their new twining system that I think they were most likely the first ones to innovate and create it, where you basically take over the Aniimo themselves and you get to play as them, you get to do the battles against NPCs, as well as PvP battles. So that's going to be really interesting to see, especially when it comes to PvP, how the controls feel. Does it feel fair? Does it feel sluggish? And how competitive that scene gets. That's going to be really cool because up until this point, we've only had tactical turn-based traditional monster tamer like Pokemon, Temtem, and even Kardmi. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this twining system shakes it up. Now, unlike Power World, it's not going to feel empty. It's going to take place on the vast continent of Adele, and it's going to be heavily driven by a main narrative story, regional side quests, and unique biomes where you actively investigate the lore of the creatures you're going to be catching. And even more interestingly, catching those creatures is not the end of the story because there will be plenty of variation and different versions of each Aniimo to catch. So that's going to be really interesting. I think now that I kind of set the table, I want to talk about that compared to Kardmi because I get this question a lot here recently as we near the release of Aniimo. And the question is, do I think that Kardmi is in trouble? Do I think that Aniimo will dethrone Kardmi as the undisputed monster tamer, the best one on mobile? And I want to break down a couple points here because I've had this asked me before, and I've been accused of clickbaiting it, so I want to clear this up. Kardmi is, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best monster tamer on mobile today, as it stands. It's the most complete package. It's not pay to win. As I said, it's just the most complete package. You look at other monster tamer games that you have on mobile. You have Pokemon Go. Okay, Pokemon Go, there's no denying, is massive, right? And it has had an astronomical amount of success. But for a long time, it didn't have any competition. And it may not be for everybody. People who don't want, now granted, everyone should exercise, but, people who may not want to explore their neighborhood or, go out in public or don't have time, they're not really going to get any enjoyment out of Pokemon Go. You look at Pokemon Champions, which is basically just the PvP side of things. So if you're not a competitive player, you're not going to enjoy it, no matter how much you enjoy Pokemon. I'm one of those people. You look at Pokemon Unite. If you're not into that style of game, you're not going to enjoy it. If you're looking for an RPG experience where you can get story, collect creatures, battle against others, you're not going to get all that from Unite. You're just not going to. And so the big question for me when it comes to Aniimo is, what exactly are we going to get? Is Aniimo going to be a cozy creature collector sandbox I know they said it's gonna be more full of life than Power World, but is it gonna be like Power World in that sense, where it's gonna be more of a, hey, you're just in a sandbox, just kind of do whatever you want. There would be a story, but it'd be a loose story, and you can pursue that at your own pace. Just jump in with friends, have a good time, catch some creatures, just hang out. Is it going to be that kind of game? Or is it going to lean more into a narrative side of things? And that is really what I want to look at and talk about, because the narrative team with Kardmi is really what I think makes all the difference. Because when you look at Kardmi, again, you're looking at a game that's not pay to win. Does it have some business strategies that I think are a little silly? Yeah, I mean, but they're cosmetic things. They're not anything that's going to give you a substantial power advantage over new players or other players in general. But where Kardmi truly shines, in my opinion, is its narrative team. And I've said this so many times. Its narrative team is so good. I look back at even Temtem, which was a console game. I love Temtem. Played it with my wife. You guys been hanging around the channel for, if you've been hanging around the channel for a little bit of time now, you've heard me say it. I've used to play Temtem with my wife all the time until it announced that it wasn't going to be getting its support anymore. Love that game. Love the creature design. Love the combat. Love the exploration. Love the fact that I can do everything with my wife in the game. From beginning to start, there was no activities we couldn't do together. However, what I did not enjoy so much was the story. I played that game for 2 years, and looking back, I can't tell you one thing about the story. Not one memorable moment. Except for probably the last boss fight, and that's only because me and my wife got stuck there. We never beat the final boss. But other than that, I can't tell you anything from the story. Not one thing. Kardmi is not like that. Kardmi has a very memorable story. It has a very engaging story that has you scratching your head and says, "Man, what the heck is going on here?" So, if you're really like me and you really care about that kind of thing, like the lore about the game you're playing, about why you're doing what you're doing, I think Kardmi is still going to be the place to go. I don't know because I haven't got my hands on the alpha or the beta or any of the playtests for Aniimo, so I'm not really sure how their story is going to go. But if Aniimo leans more into that cozy monster collector sandbox, then no, I don't think it can dethrone Kardmi, because I think Kardmi still will be the complete package, whereas Aniimo will be nearly complete, but still missing that crucial element of a good story. Another thing is the PvP. How competitive are you when it comes to Monster Tamer games? Do you prioritize that? Do you play it aggressively? Do you, maybe you don't prioritize it, but it is important to you. Kardmi has in my opinion, a very healthy competitive scene. There's no pay-to-win advantages, as I said multiple times in this video. There are a ton of creatures to collect, a ton of team synergies to break down, and with the status effects that you can apply with the Kardmi and whatnot, I think it's a very fun experience. I just don't know right now, right offhand, with the Aniimo style combat, and with us twining and taking control of the creatures, I'm sure it'll be fun. But will it be a truly competitive experience? Or will it be janky and buggy and be something that people don't really enjoy? That remains to be seen. I think, honestly, narrative and PvP wise, that Kardmi has the edge there. But if you want to talk about world building, the open world to roam, and the creature design and creature variety, currently I do think Aniimo has the edge. I really do. I think they have just a ton of variety. Fantastic creature collecting. It's going to be a load of fun capturing these creatures. It's going to be a load of fun controlling these creatures to traverse the world and discover the secrets that are in Adele. I really look forward to it. I think it does, like I said, take the edge there when it comes to those two topics in monster taming. Overall, I think Kardmi remains the top monster tamer on mobile. I think Aniimo, hands down, becomes the best one on iOS because there's no competition there. But I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. If you think Kardmi will be able to be dethroned, or if you're going to be playing Aniimo when it comes out. You guys do let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.